Hey everyone, how's it going? Gonna do a little different video today. Now, if you go on YouTube, you see a lot of collection videos. Video game collections, movie collections, figurine collections. Don't really see a whole lot of videos on book collections. So that's what I want to do today. I want to show off my humble book collection. And we're not going to waste any time talking about it. We're just going to jump right into it. So we're going to start off with a bunch of books from my favorite author, Michael Crichton. And we're going to start with the masterpiece, Jurassic Park. As you can see, this book is really old. It has been through some stuff, man. It has been through some stuff, but I will say I absolutely love the Jurassic Park movie. The book is so much better. So yeah, Jurassic Park, gotta have that in the collection. And that book was a mess, so I got another copy, and unfortunately when I put it in the bookshelf, I didn't realize it folded over. So this Jurassic Park is in rough shape too, so I'm gonna have to get another copy. So yeah, my replacement copy ended up being in rough shape as well. But yeah, we definitely got Jurassic Park. If you have Jurassic Park, you gotta have The Lost World. Another awesome book. I thought this book was much better than the movie as well. A lot of differences between the books and the movies. If you have not read the book, I definitely encourage you to give it a shot, man. It's awesome. Continuing with Michael Crichton, we have Prey. Another awesome book. Has to deal with micro robots. I don't want to spoil too much about it, but another awesome book. And I want to apologize for the ugly view behind me. That is the back of the stove. This is pretty much the only place where I can lay out all of the books and have short access to them, so it is what it is. Another Michael Crichton book, Micro. Awesome book as well. And I don't want to spend a lot of time telling what each book is about. We'll be here forever. Just want to kind of show you the books I have. Another classic from Michael Crichton, Sphere. This was another one made into a movie. The book is 100 times better than the movie they made. I thought the movie was okay, but the book was just awesome. And this is Michael Crichton is one of those authors where when I start reading one of his books, I can't put it down. Believe it or not, a lot of these books I have actually read in one sitting because I just couldn't put it down. I wanted to find out what's going to happen next. So definitely awesome author. Another one from Michael Crichton, Congo. And again, this is another instance where the book is 100 times better than the movie turned out to be. The movie was not bad, but the book was freaking awesome. So definitely read Congo if you get a chance. And continuing with Michael Crichton again, we have Pirate Latitudes. You can see my little bookmark in here. I'm actually reading this one right now. Funny thing is, I always have a book stashed in the drawer in the bathroom. That's like the man's library. So this is my bathroom book right now. Michael Crichton, Pirate Latitudes. Another awesome book, pirate adventure. Definitely would give it a read. And my last Michael Crichton book, kind of a big one here, Dragon Teeth. One of his latest books to come out. I think it came out maybe 2-3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. This one, it was good. It just, it wasn't, I guess, I hate to say it, but I don't think it was up to par with his other books. So that's it for Michael Crichton. Let's move on to the next stack here. This is a book I have not finished. Caribbean, however you want to say that. This is a thick book with tiny print. So I have not finished this. I have not worked up the motivation to even try to finish this one. That is a lot of text to go through. And this camera angle is so weird. And again, I apologize for the ugly background. Up next, The Lost Treasure of the Templars. This is one of those books I got when I was working at Walmart. You know, Walmart has, well, they used to have some books right by the registers, and every night when I get my lunch, I'd go through the books and see if anything caught my eye. This one did, and it turned out pretty decent book, man. I'm definitely not regretting that purchase. This one I do regret. The Dead Won't Die. This is another one I got from the Walmart registers, the Walmart checkout. It's a zombie apocalypse novel, and sorry about the glare. This one was just so boring to read, and I was so glad when I was done with it. Apparently there's a series of these books. I will not be checking out the rest of them. That was just boring to me. Another Walmart checkout book, The Deep. This is a horror novel, basically a research facility at the bottom of the ocean, on the ocean floor, and weird things start happening. I will say, if they made this a movie based on the material from this book, it would be a freaking awesome horror movie. Definitely do not regret picking this one up. We have another Walmart checkout book, Desert God. This one was awesome read, very good book to me. Definitely do not regret picking this up. Ancient Egypt, can't go wrong, man. Up next, we have a memoir, and some people will laugh, but it's all right. The Jason Priestley memoir. I was on my Beverly Hills 90210 kick last year. I figured, you know what, the memoir was cheap. Let me pick it up and read it. It's okay. If you're expecting a bunch of juicy gossip stuff and behind the scenes stuff, you're not going to get it in this memoir. Alright, next up we have 3 books from Dark Angel. If anyone remembers that old TV show starring Jessica Alba, I think it came on Fox. We got 3 different novels from there. This one's Before the Dawn, Skin Game, and After the Dark. I think there was just these 3. There might have been 4, I'm not sure. But they were actually really good. The show was kind of cheesy, but the books were actually really good, so that was a pleasant surprise. Well, I don't know why I grabbed this one. This is like a graphic novel, Jericho, Season 3. There was a show on CBS years and years ago called Jericho about nuclear bombs that went off in the U.S. It's pretty good, man. My mom got me into it. Next up, we have one of my favorite books. Not really a novel. Complete Book of Dinosaurs. I'm a huge dinosaur fan. Anything with dinosaurs, I'm automatically interested in. So, yeah. I mean, this book is freaking awesome. You can't go wrong with dinosaurs. It's impossible to go wrong with dinosaurs. Alright, up next we have another good book here. Pirate Hunters. I'm also fascinated with pirates as well. The thing is, a lot of these books, they try to romanticize pirates. They don't tell you how brutal they actually were. Pirates were not good people. They were brutal. They were murderers, rapists, thieves. So a lot of books you read where they try to romanticize them and make them out to be heroes. It's complete bull. Up next, we have another autobiography or biography, Total Recall, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Very thick. I will say this, man. This book was a very good read until he got to the point of his life when he was the governor of California. Then he writes a lot about politics, and politics are absolutely boring to me. So the chapters and section of the book where he's talking about his stint as the governor of California was just so boring to read. But everything else before that, you know, his life before he was famous, during his movies and all that, that was awesome to read. But his political, you know, where he was governor of California, was just so incredibly boring. And oh my God, I cannot wait to get that section over. So let's go on to our next pile here. You have to excuse me. Running out of room to put all this stuff, man. I had it set up, and now I'm trying to get them all out of the way. So let's do some switching around here. Alright, next up we have another dinosaur novel, Tyrannosaur Canyon. This is another one I picked up at the Walmart checkout line, and this is actually pretty good, man. Interesting idea for the story. An entire T-Rex fossil is found, skin and everything, and come to find out it has feathers all over it, so there's people trying to get to it, people killing each other to claim the skull or to claim the fossil. Pretty good stuff. Excuse me. This book is actually I'm surprised I picked this up because I'm not a fan of this author, believe it or not, and a lot of people are about to get mad. Stephen King, The Running Man. I'm not a Stephen King fan. A lot of people say he's the greatest horror writer of all time. I don't think his books are that scary. I think they're boring. The Running Man is the exception. The Running Man book is so much different from the movie. It has some similarities, but a lot of things in the book never happened in the movie. This is one of the rare ones where I'll take the movie over the book, man. I don't know. Stephen King just doesn't do it for me, man. I'm not a Stephen King fan. All right, up next, Chris Jericho, Undisputed. I'm not a Chris Jericho fan by any means, but the book is hilarious, man. His style of writing and the way he recounts the things that happened to him is just hilarious. I'm not a fan of his wrestling, but as an author, I'll read him every day. And this book, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, I have to take this book with a grain of salt because a lot of the things he says in this book, you can just tell he's talking out of his ass and he's just full of crap and making this stuff up. Hogan is very full of himself. I'll give you that. Some of the things that I've taken from this book, he has a massive ego. He thinks very highly of himself and he likes to exaggerate. Same thing with Ric Flair. It's a good book, but some of the things he says in here, his ego is just unbelievable. I mean, it is what it is, man. Alright, after that we have Tim Allen, Don't Stand Too Close to a Naked Man. And I know that is a weird title and has nothing to do with the book, but I'm a big Tim Allen fan, especially Home Improvement. So when I found his books for a really good price, I had to jump on them. So this one is hilarious. Tim Allen, Don't Stand Too Close to a Naked Man. After reading that, I bought another one of his books, I'm Not Really Here, and I hate to say it, but my God, this was a horrible read. Tim Allen is into quantum physics, and most of this book is about quantum physics and what he thinks about parallel. It's just... It's not a comedy book, it's not a biography or anything like that. It's just him and his scientific musings, and it is a horrible, horrible read for me. Up next, The Last Days of Krypton. Now, Superman is my favorite superhero, so anything having to do with Superman I'm automatically interested in, so I picked this up. This was before Superman. This had to deal with Superman's great-grandfather, grandfather. It's been so long since I've read this. I did not enjoy it, man. I actually thought it was kind of boring, and I regretted buying it. And the same can be said about this next book here, Monster Island, a zombie novel. A Zombie Sleeper is more like it. This was absolutely boring, and the less said about it, the better. But I'm not going to throw it away. I paid good money for it. Up next, we have World War Z. And let me say this right now. World War Z, the book, was a million times better than that crap movie we got. This book, man, it's kind of like an eyewitness account of the zombie apocalypse and everything that went down and what happened after the zombies took over and started, populating the world. Awesome book, so much better than the movie. If you thought the movie sucked, read the book, man. You won't regret it. Oh, another Michael Crichton book. Forgot about it. Grave Descend. I don't even remember what this is about. It's been years since I've read it, so I can't even comment on it. Then we have The Guide to Freshwater and Marine Aquarium Fishes. I used to have a fish tank, and this book was like a Bible to me. Just so much detail. Tells you what the temperature of the water should be for the fish, their diet, their behavioral patterns, the pH levels of the water. If you're starting an aquarium and you want to know how to get your fish in there safely, how to take care of them, this is the book for you. This book is awesome. And I really want a fish tank again, man. I miss having fish. Alright, let's move on to the next pile. Here we have Under the Black Flag. This is another pirate book that it tries to give you a history of the pirates, but it also romanticizes them and doesn't explain to you how mean and brutal the pirates really were. It's a good read, but it kind of sugarcoats things and kind of protects you from the, the vileness of the pirates. Here's another one. That glare is horrible. The Republic of Pirates. This one actually goes into some details about how cruel the pirates really were, their methods of torture, what they did to their victims. This one will tell you the truth about how the pirates really were. I recently finished this one. Very good book. This is one I have not read. The Hunt for Red October. I've watched the movie. Have not read the book yet, so I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. This will probably be the next one I read. If it's anything like the movie, I can't wait. Up next, we have The Beach House by James Patterson, kind of a murder mystery novel. It's actually really good. It's really cheap too, that's why I bought it, but turned out to be a really good read. We have another one from James Patterson, Zoo. Now, they did make a TV series out of this. It was canceled after 3 seasons. I picked this up because, my reasoning was stupid. It was a book about animals running wild in the city, so I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to pick it up. And it turned out to be really good, man. The series was okay, but the book, more often than not, so much better. Alright, we're getting near the end. We're almost there. Our next pile, Beginner's Guide to Quantum Physics. I wanted to understand quantum physics, so I bought this beginner's guide. I know just as much as I did before reading this as I did after, because even the beginner's guide is just... man, that quantum physics is over my head, folks. I thought that would help me understand it, and it just left me with more questions than answers. Another one, we have the Practical Aquarium Fish Handbook. Another good book if you want to get a fish tank started. It goes through quite a few aquarium fish, tells you their feeding habits, the size they get when they're adults, things like that, man. Same as the other book, so very useful book to have. Oh man, I haven't read this in a while. Into the Bermuda Triangle. This is a collection of real events, of mysterious disappearances and things that have happened in the Bermuda Triangle. It's actually a really good read. It is not fiction, it is all fact, stuff that's gone down the Bermuda Triangle. So yeah, if you're into the Bermuda Triangle conspiracies, mysteries, and all that, definitely check out Into the Bermuda Triangle. Alright, up next, we have Breakthrough. This is actually a really good read, man. This was the first book I bought when I had to go through my chemotherapy treatment, so as I was being pumped full of wonderful chemicals, I would read Breakthrough, and it turned out to be a really, really good read. And like I said, I don't want to spoil the plots of most of these books. Up next, we have the Burt Reynolds, I guess, autobiography or biography. This is a really interesting read as well. I got this shortly after Burt Reynolds passed away. Smoking the Bandit was one of my favorite movies, so that made me, a Burt Reynolds fan. So if you're a Burt Reynolds fan, definitely a good read. Man. Up next, we have One Dinosaur, One Bullet. Extremely short book. The ending was like, that's it. I was actually kind of disappointed with this one. Up next, we have The Pretender, Rebirth. Now, this is based off the old TV series The Pretender, starring Michael T. Weiss, which, if you haven't watched, is a freaking awesome show. It's on the Heroes and Icons channel on Spectrum. So this is a book based off of that series. I don't know how many there were in the series. I bought this one, and there were supposed to be more. I have to actually do some research and see if they were actually published. But yeah, a very good read, and if you're a fan of the series, you'll love the book. Up next, we have Wrestling with the Devil from Lex Luger. Basically, the rise, fall, and spiritual redemption of Lex Luger. It's an interesting read, not too much behind the scenes, backstage tidbits. If you're looking for that juicy backstage stuff, this probably isn't the book for you. It's more about his journey of, finding the Lord and getting spiritual. All right, up next, this big old monster, The Iliad and the Odyssey by Homer. Big old thick book. Now I bought this because reading the first couple pages, it looks like it was translated into modern English. After going beyond those pages, it is not, and I've just given up on it because the English that it's written in is just, I'm like, what the heck are they talking about? But I mean, if I could find one translated into modern English that I could understand, I would definitely get it. So this one was kind of disappointing, man. Just can't understand what the heck they're talking about. All right. Empire's Crossroads, the history of the Caribbean, or the Caribbean. This one is all about the history of the Caribbean, as it says, from the trades to pirates to the, everything about the Caribbean islands. Very good read. It's kind of a long read because it goes into technical detail about everything. It's got nice pictures, maps, and everything. So I thought it was cool, man. I like reading about history, so Empire's Crossroads, definitely a good read. Up next we have Console Wars, Behind the Scenes Battle of Sega and Nintendo. This book is mostly about the Sega and their rise to the top of the video game industry, and then it basically follows CEO Tom Kalinski's story from his being hired as CEO of Sega until when he gave his resignation. It's a really good read. It gives you a real sense of what was going on behind the scenes of Sega and just how hard they worked to get to where they were. And it's a shame that Sega doesn't make any consoles anymore. It's just a shame, man. Up next we have Slash of the Titans, The Road to Freddy vs. Jason. This was an interesting read because it had a whole bunch of script ideas of what Freddy vs. Jason, what the script writers wanted it to be. Everyone submitted a script, and some of them were just off the wall weird. You're like, what the F were they thinking? So it's an interesting read. Oh man, this next book I have not taken a glance at yet. Wild Animals in North America. This is actually my grandfather's book. When he passed away, before they sold his house, went through, and if we wanted something, we went ahead and took it home with us. I wanted this book. Have not looked at it yet, but looks kind of old too. I don't know if it has a year on it. 1979. There you go, 1979, Wild Animals in North America. So I definitely have to take a look at that. Then we have Lonely Planet's Beautiful World. The camera isn't doing justice just how tall this book is. Basically different spots in the world, just picture book. Different spots in the country, in the world. And it's one of those coffee table books, man. You want to see some beautiful locations, this is the book for you. So that's the piles I have on the table now. I have more books I have to get out, so it'll be about 20 minutes before I come back for me. It'll be immediately for you, so we'll see you then. Alright, we got our next pile here, and apparently the camera was zoomed in for everything before this, and I didn't realize it. Sorry. Anyway, let's start with this big one here. WWE Unscripted. This is a birthday gift for my brother. Either my 21st or my 22nd birthday. It was a while ago. Man, I like this zoomed out. I can't believe I had the camera zoomed in that whole time. I should go back and re-record everything, but I really don't want to, so we're gonna go with it. Up next we have Chicken Soup for the Soul, the cancer book. When I first started my cancer treatment, my chemotherapy, this came in the mail. I don't know who sent it to me. It did not have a return address. It was just addressed to me. I don't know if the hospital sent it or if someone found out I had cancer and sent it to me. I have not read it, and I know this is a bad way to think about it, but when I was going through my treatment, I didn't feel sorry for myself at all, not one bit. I wasn't depressed most of the time. And I didn't want anyone else feel sorry for me, so when I got this, I kind of took it as, you know, someone felt sorry for me, sent it to me, so I refused to read it. And I know that's a horrible way to think, but that's the way I thought about it at the time. Alright, up next, Wrestle Crap, the very worst of pro wrestling. It just goes through a whole bunch of bad gimmicks and ideas that you think to yourself, someone actually got paid to come up with that idea and somehow still had a job. So if you want to see some really bad gimmick ideas and storylines, Wrestle Crap is for you. Next up, we have The Death of WCW by Brian Alvarez. Brian Alvarez is a douche. He's one of those wrestling journalists who has a hot take on everything because he was desperate for attention. This book it's mostly his ridiculous opinion about things sprinkled with a little bit of fact. I didn't realize at the time who Brian Alvarez really was when I bought the book, and now that I do, man, yeah, Brian Alvarez is not a guy to be taken seriously at all. He's up there with Dave Meltzer as being absolutely ridiculous, and we'll leave it at that. Up next is Batista Unleashed. Just basically Batista's childhood up to becoming WWE superstar. Up next we have, wow, this one. Ooh, that one's got some dust on it, folks. Disney's The Lion King. Now, Disney, every time they had a movie release, they would have these animated books come out, and I have got a ton of these up in the attic. They're up in the attic because I don't have any room on my bookshelf for them. Lion King and Aladdin are the only ones I have out, but man, I got a ton of them up in the attic. So basically just book adaptations of the animated films. Alright, our last group of books here are these great illustrated classics. My mom bought these for me when I was a kid, and I still have them. They're basically a child's version of all the great literary classics. This one happens to be Moby Dick, one of my favorite stories. As you can see, it's got pictures, nice big text in there for the kiddies. I have not read the adult version yet, so definitely on my want list. Little Women, Swiss Family Robinson, one of my favorites, Treasure Island, Around the World in 80 Days, Oliver Twist, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and folks, these haven't been read in over 10 years. I mean, I haven't read these in over 10 years. The Merry Adventures of Robin Hood, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, The Wizard of Oz. I hated that movie. The Last of the Mohicans, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Another one of my all-time favorites, The Three Musketeers. I might actually keep that one out. Another one of my favorites, Call of the Wild. And we have Black Beauty. And last but not least, A Journey to the Center of the Earth. Like I said, a lot of the great illustrated classics books haven't been read in over 10 years. And that's it, everyone. That is my humble book collection. I will be honest, I do not have as many books as I want to have. I have a huge list of books that I still want, and one day I will have, but this is what I've got so far. This is what I've got right now, and hopefully I'll be adding to it sometime in the future. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that little look at my book collection. Like I said, I don't see a lot of book collection videos on YouTube, so I figured I'd share mine with everybody. Maybe people will be interested in it, maybe people won't, but I had fun bringing it to you. So that's going to do it for this video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions about some good books, let me know, man. I'm always looking for a good book, whether it be fiction, non-fiction, biography, historical account, whatever, man. So anyway, thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. Y'all have an awesome week, and I'll see you on whatever the next video may be. Y'all take care.